Hello, the Army of Light Earth Division, the boots on the ground. Today is July 9th, 2024. This is Shawna L. Francis, and this is the weekly briefing. I am an embodied channel, currently embodied channeling Melchizedek, and we are talking about the ascension here. And we're talking about the negative reptilian influence on the planet and how that plays its role with our ascension here as humanity and as Mother Earth. So today, guys, it's a big channeling. It's short, but it's big news. Again, I'm doing great. I had a few moments this last week after last week's channeling that had me a little off kilter and struggling, to be quite honest, but I'm back on my game. I'll talk more about myself and personal stuff after this channeling, but I want to go ahead and just dive right into this because it's important. It's always important, but this is interesting. All right, new big prediction from Melchizedek. Not so much a prediction as much as just letting us know what's going on here and asking for help, asking for our help. Okay. Melchizedek today. This was tonight, actually. We bring you more news about the negative reptilian regime and what they're up to as of late. As we speak these words through channel Shawna L. Francis, this regime is plotting and planning to assassinate the United States President Joe Biden. Why do we tell you such things, dear ones? It's certainly not to create fear. This is a war of consciousness, and the negative reptilians don't play fair. You could postulate all kinds of reasons why this particular person would be targeted. Advantages or disadvantages for other politicians, opening doors for other leaders, favorable positioning in the overall political sphere. But at the end of the day, dear ones, this is about the creation of fear and manipulation and control. It is about the masses. These are the high-stakes games in which you find yourselves. Your lives do not matter unless, of course, you're providing them with what they need to thrive. The United States has served a focal point for the negative reptilian regime to wage control around the globe. It's no accident that America became the superpower that it is today. With the assassination of Joe Biden, the negative reptilians create more of an opportunity to thrust other potential reptilian-controlled leaders to the forefront. Because there would be a scramble, there would be chaos, and there would be an urgency to fix this problem. They love creating scenarios such as this to dig their claws in even deeper into the human psyche. And they continue here. We've already mentioned that former President Donald Trump is under the influence of the negative reptilians. Joe Biden has also been under the influence of the negative reptilian control for some time, but his time for serving may be limited. So the regime is looking to capitalize on this opportunity to continue their reign through the presidential election. Melchizedek has been working with this channel Shawna and other forces to help stop this assassination from happening. This assassination represents an egregious affront to humanity, to free will, and to sovereignty, and it would be a travesty for Joe Biden and his family, even though he is under their control. These are the lengths that this regime will go to keep this planet unstable, sad, angry, and worried. We ask this dear team, this Army of Light Earth Division, the boots on the ground, to take a moment and set your intentions to protect Joe Biden from this potential attack. Let us use our collective light to illuminate this darkness, to shield and protect this person, to thwart this plan. Losing Joe Biden losing Joe Biden might initially feel like it's not that big of a deal. But from where we sit and the foresight that we have, this could actually have quite immense downstream impacts. All right, team. So toward the end of this channeling tonight, excuse me, the channeling, it became a little glitchy. And it was, I couldn't quite hear Melchizedek all that well, and we've been channeling fine for the last week. You know, everything's been good for months actually, but it actually reminded me of when Queen Elizabeth started glitching out. And so I called in the Halls of Amenti guide to just come in and take a look and see what he could see around what we had going on, because I couldn't hear them. They weren't really responding. I could feel them energetically, but all of a sudden I couldn't hear them, and it just seemed a bit weird. And the Halls of Amenti guide came in, and at first said everything looks okay, but then it still was strange. I'm like, can you please look again? And it was like 20, 30 minutes of kind of just waiting for somebody to come back to me and let me know what's going on. And finally they just said, Halls of Amenti guide came back and said, let's just call this good for now. This is a solid channeling. Please move forward with this channeling for tonight's video, and Melchizedek will be with you later. I'm actually feeling them here now. They didn't have anything to add to this channeling for tonight. And actually, team, I had a couple other topics lined up to talk about, and they said, no, let's just keep it to this. So we're keeping it simple, to the point today, talking about this potential assassination plot with Joe Biden. So I'm going to be a little cryptic, I think, in the description, because I don't want this to get flagged and taken down. So this is important, team. So what does it mean for you to sit down and help protect Joe Biden? You know, remember that we're putting all politics aside and all personal feelings aside, any judgments. This is all about unconditional love for humanity and all beings, all of existence, right? So this can look any way. There's no right way to do this. But I would say, get quiet, you know, allow your mind to kind of do its chitter chatter, and let your thoughts clear, let yourself get to a quiet center point, feeling of peace. And then I would just, one way to do it would be to just picture Joe Biden just in a huge bubble of light, just beautiful, rich, shimmering white light. And you can ask for your teams of light to help protect Joe Biden. But really it's going to be you kind of imagining it, declaring it, seeing it in your mind's eye, just this beautiful protection for Joe Biden. And again, that may look completely different for you in terms of how you might want to visualize this or how you might want to approach it. That's just one way. Melchizedek told me about this on June 30th, actually. So 9-10 days ago. And I could tell that they were actually distraught about this. And we had a few words. A couple of days later, they said, Shawna, would like your help. And they said, we'd like your help with Joe Biden to help give him protection. So I said, absolutely. So this happened twice in this last week, where I sit down, I get really quiet, and they said, Shawna, just go with the flow with whatever comes. And I found my wings, my metaphorical wings, kind of popping up, and kind of in that more of that angel mode. That's what that signifies for me. And I see Joe Biden, and coming to his aid, and I'm having a bit of a dialogue with what might be his higher self, but it's like this it feels like a very real exchange happening. And I call these missions. So I did 2 missions trying to help protect Joe Biden in this last week in that way. And my wings out, surrounding him, enveloping him, hugging him, all that white light, shimmering white light, and asking for additional help with the protection for him. So we did this twice. So again, tonight, this information comes forward, and then the channeling gets a little glitchy. So I think there's definitely something going on here. I'll keep you posted as anything new comes up with this topic. But really, just this is the channeling for tonight. This is everything. So take a moment, even if it's only 10 minutes, ideally give this 30 minutes, and do it several times until you're feeling like, okay, this is what I can offer in order to, protect Joe Biden as much as possible from this potentiality. All right, team, like I was saying, I was having a heck of a week, and it kind of, everything that's been going on with, the portal visit through to get to this new planet, losing weight, getting in shape, preparing for a solar flash and a financial collapse, the stuff with Joe Biden, and there's even other things going on besides this stuff. It just really had me feeling like I didn't have any legs this last week. For like 2 or 3 days, I was really, really hurting. And working with Melchizedek a lot, and working with the Halls of the Menti Guide, and working with my friends, and just trying to bring that sense of peace back in, and that acceptance. One thing that I'm really knowing deep in my heart here is that you've got to be all in with this process. Like, I can't just pick and choose the things that feel comfortable or feel right. We always have our discernment, and we can always be questioning things. And I am in free will to a certain extent. A lot of what I'm doing has been predetermined by my higher self, by my oversoul. But yeah, it took some time to adjust. I always tell you guys, I get to my freak out moment when there's something new. That was it. I was in my freak out moment the last couple of days. Now I'm back with my mojo, feeling good about this path, feeling rock solid, ready to go, ready to continue this work, and to do everything I possibly can to help this ascension be successful, help with awakening as many people as possible, helping with disclosure, alien disclosure. Oh, one thing I do want to mention before I go. It sounds like Melchizedek, we're now talking about promoting this channel more. So this has been one of these things I've been asking for years, like, should I be doing more to promote this? And now they're like, okay, now we're ready to cast this net a bit wider, reach out a little bit further. And so I'm working on what that might look like. The target here is the light workers or the star seeds that are just starting to wake up. So not maybe quite there. So I'm hoping to get some interviews lined up with folks who have big followings, who are kind of in this genre, and looking at other channels and other ways to do this that allows me still all the time and flexibility I need for meditation every day and exercise and all that stuff. So I would say, team, if you are feeling comfortable sharing this information out, please do so. Now is a good time. If you know folks who do podcasts or interviews and you want to promote, put in a good word for me and help promote this channel, definitely I'd welcome it. Now's the time. And Melchizedek has also said recently that in terms of our Army of Light Earth division, we have about half the folks we expected to have awaken and be following this energy and tapping into this collective. About half. I think that's pretty darn good. We've got almost 8 billion people on this planet, and if we can get half the folks that we were expecting to be part of this smaller collective, I feel like that's pretty darn good. They're also very happy with that. But there's several hundred more folks out there who could be part of this group, who, are part of the Galactic Federation of Light, most likely, or somehow tied into this mission. And we'd love to reach those folks. So yes, I'm going to be working on that as well in the background. All right, guys, I'm going to cut kind of short today and leave it at this. Okay, put your intentions out there to help Joe Biden, protect Joe Biden from this plan, and let your light shine. Thanks everybody for being here. Thank you for all your amazing comments about this planet visit from last week's video. I do have tips coming for preparing for the solar flare and all that good stuff. Still in the works. It's been a very busy week. All right, team. Thanks again for everything. I love you so much. Please take care of yourselves, and I will see you next week, if not sooner. Okay, team. Mwah.